Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for joining me today. As the month progresses, we are becoming more understanding of what's going on in the hips and the pelvis, how it's all interconnected and built, and what we can do to access some of the less accessible areas. So, find a comfortable position where you can settle and close your eyes. Become aware of all that's happening, the inner landscape of yourself. So feel your body from the inside. Connect with your hips, your pelvis, the pelvic floor muscles. And send your breath to your belly. So feeling that expansion of this entire area. You may want to place your hands, just embracing your Buddha belly. We all have one, and they're great. And simply breathe. Inviting freedom, inviting space, finding connection and awakening of the muscles, or simply awareness of your body. So it's quite tempting to think of your yoga practice as based solely around movement and just going from one pose to another. But what it's important to know is that there's something that needs to come before movement. That's both on and off the mat. And that is stability. That is a form. So definitely not rigid, but a form that can invite that movement. So what does it mean in terms of our practice? So if water has no boundaries, it simply dissipates. But within the banks of a stream or of a river, then it's invited to flow. So similarly, if you move through postures too quickly, there are not boundaries to them, no form per se, then that movement or that energy may dissipate. So if you define some clear boundaries, some clear engagement of the pose and define it with your breath, so you don't go too deeply, but equally you go at an appropriate depth, then you can invite some movement within that pose. Stability invites fluidity is the theme of our practice today. So find rooting, invite all the grounding qualities you can, whilst deepening the awareness of your pose, of the engagement that's happening throughout the body, so you can define those clear boundaries and find form. So then you can invite movement within, as well as intelligently moving through the poses. Stay connected to your breath. And we're gonna go through 10 rounds of Ujjayi breathing. So deep inhalation, slow exhalation. Inhale for 9. Exhale for 9. Inhale 8. And exhale 8. Inhale 7. Exhale 7. Inhale 6. Exhale 6. Continue for the next 5, following your own breath, allowing the Ujjayi to be gentle, so you're not expanding too much energy, but keeping it contained within your body, keeping that control, that keeping the boundaries of that energy, how much energy you put in to make that audible sound. And softly open your eyes, and if you were lying down or seated, come into sitting on your heels. So see how that feels in your knees. It may or may not feel comfortable. If it's too much, you can always lift up your hips. The reason why I would encourage you to stay seated is that we're stretching the top of the thighs in a mild way, but sometimes even if this stretch isn't particularly challenging, any niggles in the knees can prevent this from happening. But if you're happy here, or even dropping your bum between your heels, then go for it. This is way too much for me today, so I'll be happy here. So then extend your arms out, and then internally rotate the left arm so you can slide it behind your back, so between the shoulder blades. And the right arm goes up, comes between the shoulder blades, and you may or may not be able to grab hold of your fingers. So you can stay on your toes. That's easier for the knees, obviously more challenging in terms of the plantar fascia stretch. Corset your ribs, breathe into your chest, and relax through the shoulders. With the next inhalation, release your arms, and you're going to go the other way. So you can always use a strap if this is too much. Notice how this other side is feeling. Not judging your experience or judging the part of the body that's not performing to your liking. Simply observe. It's all good. Then inhaling, gently release the arms. You can give them a little shake. And then cross your right arm underneath the left where the elbows meet, and you can double wrap the arms for Garuda arms, the eagle arms. Bring the hands away from your face and lift the elbows up, dropping the shoulders down. And breathe. Notice where you feel most sensations, and try to soften them with your breath. With the next inhalation, gently release, extend your arms, and then cross your left arm underneath the right, and find your eagle arms on the other side. So pause for a moment, don't rush it. Then find your edge and blur it. Don't force anything. So sometimes it might feel a lot different on each side. And just remember that yoga begins where we are today, not where we were yesterday. It's the bit I sometimes struggle with. Or where we long to be. Just one more breath in. And gently release. You can give your shoulders a little rub. Just do what feels good. And then we transition to sitting cross-legged. Notice how your weight is positioned, how it's placed on the mat. Gently lift up from the hips to find an engagement from the core, and extend your right arm out, fingertips or hand down. Inhale the left arm up, bicep by your ear, keeping the engagement, long spine. Then as you exhale, you can stretch further, leaning towards the right. Keep the right shoulder down with strong energy line from the hips to the fingertips. Notice where it feels good. And then as you inhale, come back to the center, we go to the other side. So with an exhalation, lean. Try not to lean forward or extend your spine, but actually find a side stretch as though your body was between two glass panes. And then inhale, come back to the center. And now transition into deer. So it's like a hybrid version of a pigeon with just sitting on your bum. So the front leg, more or less 90-degree angle. It's fairly the same with the back leg. Don't get too attached to the angles or measurements. It's just more or less so that you feel that in one hip you've got the external rotation, and in the other hip it's the internal rotation. Turn your head and your torso towards the front leg, so the right leg, and just check how it feels. Can lift and drop the left hip. Then when you're ready, bring the fingertips in front of you. Inhale. Find a little back bend. And as you exhale, fold over the leg. Inhale to rise. And exhale to fold. So twice more. Notice where you feel the stretch depending on where your torso is positioned. And then inhale back up. And then we bring the left leg in front, and then the right leg goes behind. So again, just find a position where you're semi-comfortable, that you can work with, because there's no point in like, oh no, I need to put this leg a bit further behind if you can't hold this position. So checking in with yourself, checking in with the hips, with your breath. Inhale, extend your chest. And as you exhale, fold. So 4 rounds of breath this way. Inhale. Exhale. In. And out. Each time you exhale, see if you can go a slightly bit deeper. Breathe in. And out. Inhale back to the center, and whichever way you want, transition over onto all fours. Fingers spread wide, strongly press down through the fingertips, and then bring the knees close together and cross your right leg behind the left. So it's a Gomukhasana version of cat-cow. So with the inhalation, drag your chest forward. And exhale around your back. Breathing in. And breathing out. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. So uncross your legs and go the other way. Notice how comfortable or uncomfortable that feels. And work with what you've got. So inhale to come forward. And exhale, spread your shoulder blades apart. Breathing in. And slowly out. Inhale. And exhale. Uncross your legs, tuck your toes under, and inhale yourself up into downward facing dog. So pedal your feet or spin on them just for a couple of breaths so you can feel what's going on in your legs, in your hips, the knees, your entire body. And then when you're there, so cross your right leg behind the left. So again, Garuda or Gomukhasa legs, but in downward facing dog. Note how differently that feels. Just a couple of breaths. And then switch the cross. So this time left leg goes behind the right. Keep trying to straighten the legs, lift the hips up. Draw your lower belly in. And then inhale back to regular downward dog. Slowly walk your feet towards your hands. And as you exhale, fold over legs, bending them as much as you need to. Relaxing through the arms, the top of your shoulders, your neck. Just enjoying the sensations of the breath in your back body. And maybe after a couple of breaths, your body wants you to straighten the legs a bit further. It's a bit more manageable. So find your form and invite fluidity. The next inhalation, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, roll yourself all the way up to standing. Roll the shoulders back and down. The legs together, inhale your arms up, grab hold of your right wrist, lock the shoulder in the socket and then lean to the left. Feeling good, stretch the right side of the body. Inhale back to the center, and as you exhale, switch the stretch. Inhale back to the center, exhale, release your arms. Shift the weight onto the left foot. Inhale your right leg up. Cross the right foot over the knee, flex the foot, and very gently come into a standing pigeon. Got shape of a figure 4. Be mindful of what's happening in the knee, in the hips, the standing leg, how your balance is today. You may want to bring the hands at your heart. Belly is engaged, drop your hips low. Then inhale, come back up to standing. And exhale, long step back into warrior 1. So foot 45 degrees out, bend the front leg, inhale your arms up. Keep pushing down through the outer edge of the right foot. Belly is engaged. Hook the shoulders against the back of your ribs. And breathe. Allow the right hip to stretch out. Then as you inhale, step forward. And exhale, release. I'm going to do it on the other side. Spread your toes wide. Lift your left leg up. Cross the foot over the knee. And begin to sink low. So it's like a chair pigeon combination. You want to see all of your toes. Check how your balance is. With that lovely hip opener, bring the hands at your heart and breathe. With the next inhale, rise up, uncross the leg, and as you exhale, long step back, land in warrior 1. Check if the stance is wide enough, bend the front leg, inhale your arms up. Make sure that the knee is over the ankle and not coming in, but if anything, coming slightly out towards the pinky toe side of the foot. Breathe into the hips. And with the next inhale, come up to standing. So you exhale, come into a forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, step into down dog. So let's wake the core up a bit. So then as you inhale, come onto the balls of your feet, and as you're rolling on a big medicine ball, transition over into plank, protracting the shoulders, squeezing the legs, using your pelvic floor here. And then inhale, come back to three-legged, just downward dog. Then slowly roll yourself back over into plank. And then come back into down dog. So let's do it 3 more times. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Squeeze your belly. Inhale. And exhale. In. You can do it. Just twice more. Exhale. 1 more time. Breathe in. And out. Then roll over into plank, and whichever way you like, come down onto your belly. So the core is nice and warm. Now let's fire the posterior chain of the muscles. Hands by your low ribs, elbows in, press the tops of the feet into the mat. And as you inhale, roll the shoulders back and down, find your cobra. Exhale, come down. Twice more. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, lower. Inhale, come up. And as you exhale, transition over, downward dog. Shift the weight onto the left foot, inhale your right leg up, and exhale, bend and roll the hip open. Keep pressing evenly through the hands, relaxing through the right foot, lift the right knee up, and see how else you can access that hip. So with your breath, with your intention, with your attention. Inhale into three-legged dog. Exhale, step the foot between the hands. Drop the back heel for warrior 2. And inhale with the front leg bend. Rise up into warrior 2. Have a little play. How does it feel in your hips? Extend the arms out. Knee is facing pinky, toe side of the foot. Arms are relaxed. Squeeze the inner thighs together and breathe. Then rotate the left arm in so you can bring it behind your back. Maybe you can hook it over the top of the thigh. And then bring the right hand down for side angle pose with half bind. Squeeze the knee and arm together. Engage your core. And breathe. Then gently release the top arm. Bring it down. Lift the back heel and step your left foot outside of the left hand. Coming into Malasana. Drop your hips down and have a little play. How does it feel if it's achy in the knees, it's not manageable, then you can support yourself with a block here or just stay with the heels up. Otherwise, see if you can find a spot where you can drop your heels low. Knees are facing the same way as your feet. Bring the hands at your heart, squeeze the knees together as you push the elbows into the legs. Open through the chest, long spine. Engage your pelvic floor. All is good. Bring the hands down. Step back into plank or down dog. Then if you want to, you can go for a vinyasa. And we meet in down dog. Inhale, left leg up. And exhale, roll the hip out. Inhale, three-legged. And exhale, step the foot between the hands. Drop the back heel. Coming into warrior two. So inhale strongly up. Exhale, sink. Feel your hips. Find the engagement in the core and notice your breath. Find your Ujjayi if you've lost it. Then bring the right arm behind your lower back. Hook it over the thigh if you want to. Lean forward and bring the left hand by the inner foot. Notice what's present here. What thoughts are going through your head. If the nature is that of criticism, let it go. And then release the top arm, spin on the back foot, and step the right foot outside of the right hand. Malasana, one more time. So find where you want to be. You don't even need to lift the hands up if you want to stay with them down. Try to keep the spine long and keep your mind equanimous. Not judging the experience, just doing what you can. Putting a proportionate amount of effort to how your body's feeling, to your energetic levels. And then bring the hands down, step back into down dog. If you're dying for a vinyasa, go for it. And then bring the foot in the center. Inhale your right leg up. And as you exhale, bring the knee to chest into plank. Inhale, three-legged. Exhale, knee to the same elbow, armpit. Inhale, three-legged. Exhale, across. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, bring it down. Do a vinyasa if you wish. I'll rest in down dog. Now we've got everyone here. Bring the right foot to the middle. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, knee to chest, lift it high. Inhale, three-legged. Exhale, knee to the same elbow. Inhale, up. And exhale, across. Inhale, back up. And exhale, come down. So this time, step the right foot outside of the right hand. Come down for lizard. Keep the chest open. You might want to have a loop already ready for your foot. You might be able to just lift the left leg and grab hold of it and bring it closer to you. The alternative is that you come down onto your belly, prop yourself up with the right forearm, lift the left leg and bring the foot as close to your bum or outside of the left hip as the body is welcoming it. You may want to start warming up your shoulder by spinning the hand to bring the fingertips to face the same way as you, and then you bring the foot down. So it depends what you need more, whether it's the quad stretch, so the top of the thigh, or whether you need to work on the shoulder. Then gently release and come to do the other side. So I overstep the left foot outside of the right hand, or stay with me down, bending the right leg, checking if the foot's there, and gently bring it closer. Remember, there's never any force. No strain, and check in with the shoulder. How is it feeling? So you spin on the top of the foot to bring the fingers to face you. And then you turn the chest to face the short edge of your mat. So this is really hard. So be kind to yourself, work with your breath. And then gently release. Inhale up to cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Step the right foot between the hands and drop the back heel down. Inhale. Come up to standing with legs straight. Bring the left arm behind. So it's a half bind here, but this time extend the right arm forward and lean. When you can't go any further, then bring the right hand on top of the foot, the shin, fingertips down wherever you can. Keep the top of the thigh engaged to support your hamstrings and roll the chest out. So you may be able to hug the top of the thigh, look up for inspiration, or down for grounding. And just breathe. Keep the spine long, your breath three-dimensional. And invite that fluidity through the form, through your stability. And then as you inhale, bend the front leg. Exhale, extend it. Twice more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Then release the left arm. Step back into down dog. Oh no. Step the left foot between the hands. It's never happened before. And as you inhale, lift up, preparing for triangle pose. So left arm behind you. Clearly the microphone can't handle being upside down so much. Left arm in front of you. And then leaning forward, slowly bring yourself down, keeping an equal length in both sides of the body. Keeping the legs engaged, the thighs squeezing together. Notice where you can soften more, where you can engage. Keep your Ujjayi breathing and let it feel good. Feel the energy swirling throughout your body. Then inhale, bend the front leg. Exhale, straighten it. Inhale to come forward. And exhale, straight. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Release the top arm. And step back into down dog. So then step the right foot between the hands, spin on your legs to face the long edge of the mat and come up to standing. Feet are 45 degrees out. Inhale your arms up and as you exhale, sink low for Maha Malasana or the goddess pose. Keep tilting the pelvis back, tucking your tailbone under and sink low. Push the hips forward. Push your hands strongly into the thighs and then bow your right shoulder. Inhale, come up. Exhale, left one. Inhale, come up. So 3 more times. You can do it. Slow breathing. In the equanimous mind. Then inhale, arms up. And exhale, pulse. Not going too deep. Finding that appropriate length. Can keep the hands in Kali Mudra, interlacing all fingers but index fingers. And breathe. Then inhale, straighten the legs. And as you exhale, come into down dog. Bring the right knee behind the right wrist. Left foot across the mat. Slide your hips back. Check that the leg is straight. If it is, come to face the short edge of your mat and have a little play. Do you need to slide a cushion under your right hip? Or a block? Or a bolster? Maybe yoga with Mag's bolster. Find an open chest and then surrender. Lengthening through the spine. Drop your forehead down. Become familiar with the sensations. Don't run away from them. Then as you inhale, walk your hands in and push the legs into the mat. Engage your pelvic floor to lift the hips up. Then you can extend your arms out, fingers together, and gently squeeze the shoulder blades, opening through the shoulder. Keep breathing. Then bring the hands down and see if you've still got more juice. Again, you might need the hoop here because we're going to try to come into a mermaid. It's all this fluidity and the sea. So, keeping the hips straight, you bend the left leg. And then start with just holding onto the foot. Prop yourself up. Just do what you can. And then if you're like, okay, it's not bad here, you might be able to hook the foot with your arm. And if you like, okay, this is manageable, keep that engagement through the legs, bringing the energy to the core so you can grab hold of the other arm, and then you slide your head underneath for mermaid. Just see how that feels in the shoulders. And breathe. Then gently release the top arm, then the back leg, and slide down. So you're in this like deer pose thing that we tried earlier. And then twist towards the left leg. Twist to the right, squeeze your belly. And come back into downward dog. This time the left knee behind the wrist, coming into pigeon on the other side. Bring your awareness to your left hip joint, all the muscles in the leg, how that feels here. To check whether you need extra support or not. And remember, all the props are your aids, not crutches. And every day just feels different. You might just feel a bit tight today. Just make yourself comfortable. Because even though stability invites fluidity, stability isn't rigidity. So that's something worth remembering too. When you're comfortable, you can fold over the legs, but draw the belly button further away from your leg. And let go of any negative thoughts, any bad self-talk. If it's hard to say it's hard, there's nothing wrong with that. Then inhaling, come back up. Find the strength through the legs. So bring them together. You see my hips lift up. Extend the arms out. Draw your fist, but thumbs off pointing back, and same action. Keep squeezing the shoulder blades, pushing the chest through. And then if you still got more juice, prep for Mermaid. So check where you are. If you can find a stability in the pelvis, and then maybe you bend the right leg. So I can feel my right leg is a lot tighter today than it has been this week recently. So I'm like, okay here. Spend a couple of breaths. Check how you are. Then if you want to, hook it with the right forearm. And again, are you stable enough to let go of the support of the left leg? If not, it's fine. If you can, grab hold of the hand and weave your head from underneath. Spend a couple of breaths. And then gently release the top arm. Let go of the back leg. Come to your deer pose. Turn towards the right leg. And then twist away. So not like full 100% twist here. Just a little bit. Feel what's going on. Then slowly transition onto your back. Cross your right knee over the left. Grab hold of your feet. Supta Gomukhasana. Relax the shoulders. Feel the contact of your spine with the mat. Draw the legs closer in. And find softness, find qualities like gentleness in your breath. Then release the legs, swap the cross, and then gently begin to draw the legs in. And release your legs. Stay in constructive rest pose just for a moment. Notice what's going on. If there's anything your body's still craving, and go for it. I'm gonna come into plow because I find that after all this back bending, it would be nice to find that long stretch throughout the back. So bring the hips up, support yourself with the hands, and if the legs come all the way down, then tuck your toes. You can walk the elbows slightly in. Do not turn your head from side to side because there's too much compression on the cervical spine. So if you're unsure how to do it, then press pause and rewind it rather than taking a sneak peek to check what's going on. Lift your chin up gently to find length in the back of the neck. Find your Ujjayi. If you want, you can transfer your arms to hold your feet. Your belly is engaged. Breathe calmly, knowing all is good. Then stay for another 5 breaths. If you want to come out, bring the hands the back of the hips and allow them to slide between your arms. If your body wants you to come up lightly, then allow it to do so. And find some gentle movement. And get cozy. And come to lie on your back. Well-deserved Shavasana. The only pose where you can really melt. where it doesn't matter. Where the engagement doesn't matter. That you can just sink into the mat. Allowing that water we talked about to dissipate. So like spillage. Stay with your breath. Briefly reflecting on your practice. On where you found the form, the stability, the engagement in the body that was grounding you, that was rooting you, so you could find movement in other areas, so the energy could move freely, the breath could flow freely as well. Take a deeper, more conscious breath in. And invite some small movement back into your body. Bring your awareness into your surroundings. Take a full body stretch, then roll over to one side, so propping your head up with a pillow or with your arms as a pillow. Slowly and mindfully bring yourself back into a comfortable seat. And just stay here for a couple of minutes of meditation, feeling the grounding energy from your hips down, that deep connection with the earth, as though you're sending roots deep down into the soil, so you can take all the nutrients that you need to grow. With some engagement in your trunk, a lift up from the hips, feeling the rising energy in your spine, reaching up for the crown of the head. Your arms are relaxed, bring the back of your hands onto your knees and open your fingers wide. A symbol of tree branches and leaves. So sit here and breathe. Breathe in at length, the growth, the upwards energy. And as you exhale, grow deeper into the earth. So feeling the movement within the boundaries of your body, of your engagement. Feeling the fluidity of energy within you. Now bring the hands at your heart to close the practice with one round of Om. Softly open your eyes. Thank you very much for your practice with me today. Namaste. Let me know your thoughts, because I find the topic of stability and fluidity really interesting, and in particular when it comes to working with the hips, because it seems like it's all about the openness and expansion, but actually there needs to be a fair bit of engagement. So like we saw in the mermaid pose, that you're not just flopping down. And even if you can do that, you shouldn't probably do it, especially if you're hypermobile. There needs to be that engagement in the legs whilst keeping other parts of the pelvis and the hip joint and groin open. So let me know what you think and how you found it. And I hope to see you again soon. Much love. Mwah.